All right, with this next set of tutorials, we're going to take a look at how to get any prospective clients started with your Pinpoint platform. We have two different ways we can do this. We can initiate with the potential client, or the client can initiate with us. So we're going to break this up into smaller parts so that way it's much easier for you to follow along. So we're going to look at the first part right now, which is if we initiate with this potential client. So for instance, this may be a referral from another client. This may be somebody that maybe saw an advertisement or something on social media. Maybe they didn't see the Pinpoint platform yet with my profile page, but somehow they got a hold of me and said that they had some interest with me being their trainer. So what I can do is just this. I just need to get their email address. And then once I have their email address, what I can do is come over to my Pinpoint platform. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the calendar feature right up here. So I'm going to click on the calendar feature. And when I click on the calendar feature, what I want you to realize is this is total full control for you, the trainer. So it's a little bit different than the calendar that was public facing. So if you remember back in our earlier tutorials when we talked about setting up your profile page and we set the working hours, when we set those working hours, as an example with mine, we left Saturday and Sunday that we weren't working. Well, when I go ahead and click on the calendar feature up here, I, as the trainer, can set any time I want, okay? So just so you all realize that. So let's say, for example, though, that I'd like to reach out to Frankie because, Frankie had inquired with myself. So what I can do here is I can go ahead and click anywhere within the calendar that I want, right? And I'm gonna actually go ahead and scroll down. And let's say, for instance, that Frankie was interested with working with me at, let's say, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, or 7 o'clock today, forgetting it's Thursday already. So one thing I do want you to realize is when you click within the calendar hour itself, it's actually broken up into 4 increments by 15 minutes. So the very first portion will be 7. The next one would be 7:15, 7:30, 7:45. So just so you realize that. So I'm going to go ahead and click right on 7 o'clock, and that brings up my different options here. So the first one just by default happened to be the online options with then all my different variations there. If I went ahead and clicked on the green in person, because maybe that's what she wanted to do, then I would have those options. So just for the sake of this tutorial, let me go ahead and stay on the online version for more of a virtual type session. And let's just say for this example, it was more of just an assessment or a goal assessment. So I can go ahead and find out exactly what Frankie wants to do for her fitness goals. Then I can go ahead and put together a program and present that program to her. All right. So once I go ahead and set what I want to there, over here, I'm going to go ahead and click next. So when I click next, this is now going to allow me to go ahead and confirm the appointment, but I do have to drop Frankie's email address right in here. And special note, let's say for instance, Frankie wanted to bring her mom. As long as I have those people's email addresses, I can actually invite as many people as I would like. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to drop Frankie's email in here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit close. And as we can see now, there's Frankie's email, and I'm going to hit confirm. And when I click confirm, now that went ahead and it scheduled it for 7 o'clock right at that time. And Frankie will get an email that's going to be asking her about going ahead and confirming and accepting this complimentary assessment as well. Okay, so a couple things about this. For instance, and you can see here that I already have it as an upcoming event. Let's say that Frankie calls me and says, Rob, I had a meeting originally at, let's say it was 4 o'clock today, but all of a sudden that meeting got canceled and can you meet at 4 instead of 5 or whatever it may be, right? All I need to do is I can simply go ahead and drag this appointment anywhere that I want, any day, any hour, as long as it's obviously not busy. So I'm going to go ahead here, ducking down. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to move this up here to, I'm going to hit that just because I kept my cursor there. And we're going to go ahead and grab this and let's drop this in at 9 o'clock this morning. And I'm going to confirm that, which is actually in 10 minutes for me while we're filming this tutorial. So again, I can just drag and drop it anywhere I want, any day. doesn't matter, and that way it'll now be reconfirmed. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's click on the actual upcoming event with Frankie. I'm going to click on that there. And if you see here, I actually have this countdown that's going to show me exactly when I can start the appointment. And as a trainer, I have the ability to start the appointment, if it's a virtual session, of course, using the pinpoint video 5 minutes before the session begins. Okay, so we set it for 9 a.m. now. So in, again, about 3.5 minutes, that's going to appear. So that way, I'll actually have the ability to initiate the call to Frankie to make sure that we're ready and set and ready to start training. Okay, so with that, let me show you what that's going to look like here. We're going to do a little timeout so that thing gets a little bit closer to our 3 minutes, and then we'll be right back. All right, if you can see here, we have a little countdown going. So in about 5 more seconds, this is going to be available for me to initiate the session. So here we go. All I have to do now is click the blue Start Meeting button. That will take me right over to the pinpoint chat, and then very important, to actually go ahead and initiate the video chat, I just need to go ahead, make sure of course that I'm looking at Frankie. I've got Frankie clicked right there. And now I need to go ahead and click on the video button up in the top right hand corner. So let's call Frankie. All right, we're just calling Frankie.
I think that's good, right?
Hey, there she is. Fantastic. So it just rings through. But again, you can see Frankie with our homemade green screen in our office here. But Frankie doing a ton of work as well at the moment. But Frankie, want to wave to our audience?
Hi.
There you go. So obviously though, if you notice down here, I can change the layout. So I can make the layout itself more of a side-by-side, or if I had small group with multiple windows, maybe again, I have for one-on-one, I want to get as much real estate as my client as possible so I can assess form and motivate and so forth. So totally up to you. You have a whole bunch of other controls as well with sharing your screen and so forth. So Frankie, thank you so much. You want to say goodbye to everybody? All right, awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to end the call by hitting our red hang up button here. So just remember, with Pinpoint Video, one-stop shop, no need for any other web conferencing whatsoever. So again, quick recap. All I need to do to initiate a session with somebody is go on up to my calendar. And when I go up to my calendar, I can go ahead and click on any time frame that I want, and then go ahead and email the person what offering that I want to provide for them. Hang tight. In our next tutorial, we're going to talk about how a client can initiate setting up a session with us through the Pinpoint profile page.